Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Delicia for those of you that are new here, and in today's video I just wanted to talk about starting life over before you turn 30, before I turn 30. But this video doesn't mean you can't start over at any point in your life. You could be in your 30s, in your 40s, 50s, 60s. If you decide, you know what, where I am right now, I'm just not happy, I'm just not fulfilled, I want more, I urge you to start over. So on this channel, I used to say it's like a lot of personal development, fashion, lifestyle related content, but really I feel like this channel is lots of mini docu-series as I take you through my life of me just coming into myself. You know, I call it the glow up diary. I feel like that description really fits because I take you guys on my highs, my lows. You guys have seen some really low points. I want to obviously share way more high points, and I'm hoping the next few months does that for me. So we've had a lot of changes recently. I basically want to give you guys a little bit of a backstory and why I decided to like start life over before I turned 30. What does that even mean as well? If you watched my recent vlog, you will know that I was recently made redundant, and that is probably the biggest blessing I've had in such a long time. A goal of mine for the past, let's say 5 years, has been to be self-employed, and it's something that I've never been able to achieve. And I feel like the main reason why I haven't been able to achieve that goal is because of fear, and that is quite simply it. I've always been too scared of letting go of what I have always known. Like I said in my last vlog, I've been working since I was 16, so I've always had an income, like a really secure income. I say really secure, your job can be taken away from you at any minute, to be honest with you. But I've always had that security of knowing the exact day I'm going to get paid. And as time went on, I was telling myself, okay, cool, I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna quit. And I just never did it. Towards the end of last year, I was having a lot of conversations with God, and he was just basically asking me, do you trust me? And as he was asking me if I trust him, I obviously knew that was in reference to going out into the world on my own and trusting that he was going to provide for me. And I was saying, yes, I do trust you, but my actions didn't align because I really felt like he wanted me to quit my job, but I just wouldn't do it. I would tell friends and family that, be very surprised if I'm working for this company by February because I'm going to quit. January came around, and instead of preparing myself to quit this job, I did the complete opposite. I was basically trying to put myself in the mind frame of accepting that I'm a 9-to-5 girl and trying to accept that I'm a corporate babe. So I started to do little courses here and there to advance my skill, started to speak up more at work, and started to try and put myself out there more because I kind of accepted my reality. And even though I knew that's not what I wanted from my life, I just felt like, you know what, you know you're never going to quit, and this is just it, and it's just time to accept it. So I really tried to like put myself in a place where I was comfortable with the idea of having a full-time job and that just being it. I felt like content isn't working, I'm not achieving what it is I want, let me just make the most of what I've got in front of me. But God held on to the conversations him and I were having in the beginning of the year, towards the end of last year. He really held on to it. And what happened was, I was having conversations with him and I was saying, like, I really need you to do something for me come the end of January. That just lets me know it's you. Again, I knew this was in reference to work, but I didn't know what it looked like. At no point did I ever think I was going to be made redundant or anything like that. I didn't want to tell him what I wanted to happen. I just left the options wide open. So I just kept saying, like, I just need you to do something for me that lets me know it's you. And January 31st, like clockwork, one thing about God is he's going to show up on time. I think all you have to do is say, God, I want this by X date, and he will give that to you. At 11:59 that day, like before that day ends, you will have exactly what you want. So January 31st, had a meeting with my manager in HR where they basically let me know that the possibility to take a redundancy has come up because of reasons that I won't get into in this video, because I do feel like it was a bit of a sham redundancy. But I'm not complaining for the simple fact I wanted to leave the company, so I'm not going to complain, but I do think it was a bit of an unfair redundancy. I don't think it was genuine. Chance came up for me to take a redundancy, and in that moment I just knew it was God. The timing, the way everything worked out just made sense to me. Like, I just knew it was God. So I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to take this redundancy and I'm going to start over. My goal for 2024, which is unlike me, I didn't have any materialistic goals. I didn't have any goals that were measurable. Like, I didn't have any goals in regards to a certain amount of money I wanted to make per month. I didn't have any goals regarding holidays or, you know, I actually didn't have any goals to drastically improve my life this year. And the reason why that is because I knew I needed a fresh start. When we are younger, when we're in our 20s, when we see what our friends and our family and everyone's achieving, when we go on social media and we see what like the people around us are achieving, it makes us feel like we should have certain things by a certain time. Like, I think everyone feels like that. If you're in your late 20s and you see everyone is moving out and everyone's buying a car and everyone has their dream career, you feel like that's what you should be doing. However, I'm at that age now where I know and I understand that no two lives are the same. We all have a different journey. We all have a different experience. We all have a different path. And what I get one day might take you 10 years to get. What you get one day might take me 10 years to get. And that is actually okay. So my goal for this year was, I actually wanted a fresh start. I wanted a fresh start in my career. I wanted a fresh start in my finances. I wanted a fresh start in my love life. I wanted a fresh start in my belief in everything. So let's start with career. I have never had the desire to have a traditional career. That's just never been me for as long as I can remember. I think my earliest memory would probably be when I was like 14. I realized I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Didn't know what that looked like, didn't know what that meant. I just knew I wanted to go out there and experience life in a way that was like this. I didn't want someone to tell me, you have to go to university, you have to study this, you have to get this experience, you have to apply for this job, and then that's just what you do for the next 40 years. I didn't want that to be me. I wanted to experience so many different things in so many different ways, and I wanted to take all of these risks. So I never had a traditional career. And I think for the average person, not knowing what you want to do in regards to your career would make you feel like a failure. Like, it's very easy to feel like a failure, especially when you see all of your friends and all of your family and everyone around you graduating and then doing their graduate jobs and saying that they got this promotion, or this is their salary, or they started off at 25k and in 1 year they took a massive jump to 75k. Like, things like that will make you feel like a failure. However, I don't feel like that at all. I'm at a place right now where it's like, I'm actually comfortable with what I'm making, if that means I'm working towards what it is my purpose is, what it is I actually want to do. And if you're someone who feels like you just don't know what it is you want from life, or you're scared to do what it is you actually want, I urge you to just ask yourself what actually matters to you and just focus on that. It doesn't matter if people look at you like you're weird, you're crazy, if it doesn't make sense to anyone. Just do what matters and what's important to you. And I would say, like, that is the only real way to happiness. So yeah, I've just never really had a traditional career, and I made the decision that what it is I do want to do and what it is I actually want to pursue is I want to pursue content, and I want to do it in a way that is kind of different to everyone else, because, like, yes, everyone documents their life and everyone shows us what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, but when I say I want to do it differently, I mean I just want it to be like a docu-series kind of, where you guys come on this coming of age journey with me. I know it's weird to say coming of age because I'm a grown-ass woman, but I feel like life is really only starting for me now, because I genuinely feel like it's only now that I've gone out into the world on my own. I know I've got a kid, I know I live by myself, like I know I've experienced really pivotal moments in my life and really big moments in my life, but it's only now that I'm free from having a 9 to 5 that I feel like I'm going out into the world on my own, because I haven't got anyone overseeing what I'm doing. I haven't got anyone on my back telling me this is what I need to do. I haven't got anyone telling me what my plan is for the day. I haven't got anyone checking up on me. I haven't got anyone asking me what was my high point of last year, what was my low point of last year. I now have to do all of that myself. So it's like, it's only now that I feel like I'm going out into the world on my own, and I'm so excited and happy to have this fresh start for myself, because I feel like it's now that I'm 28 and I've had all of these life experiences, only now that I actually understand what it is I want and what actually matters to me. And I think it's happened at the perfect time, especially because I'm building that relationship with God. All of these years I haven't really had God in my life, and I think when you don't have God in your life, you don't do things the way he would want you to do them. So I'm glad now that I have him in my life, I'm taking this fresh start now, because now I'm going to do it the way God wants me to do it. I wouldn't want to be established in something and then one day realize, you know what, I want to get closer to God, and now that thing that I'm established in, I have to let go of because it isn't what God wants for my life. But now it's like I'm in a place where I have a great relationship with God, and I'm building that relationship, and I'm understanding him more and more every day, and I'm understanding how to live for him and, you know, be a reflection of him. So whatever I choose to do is going to be God ordained in some way. So I'm glad that I'm giving myself this fresh start now, because it's only now that God is really in my life. So my finances are nowhere near where I want it to be, but I am in a very lucky and blessed position, because I am able to like take 6 months off of work to pursue my dreams. And I know a lot of people would be looking at me like, how are you able to do that as a single mother? For me, one, like, all of this was God's doing. And the reason why I say that is because I pay my rent in advance, right? I pay my rent 4 months in advance, but I always have like 2 months on the side. So I basically have already paid 6 months of my rent from this point. So I know I'm covered for the next 6 months. The reason why I say it was God's doing is because the way my redundancy worked out is it happened around the time my rent was due. So I was able to pay for my rent for the next 6 months. And it's like, I no longer have rent to worry about. And that in itself made me feel like this was God's plan, because if I was made redundant at any other point, like let's say I was made redundant halfway through, I might not have had that full 6 months. I might have only had 2 months rent paid or 3 months rent paid. Like, but I'm in a position now where my rent is paid, and because my rent is paid, I don't have to worry about that. I've got a little bit of savings, I get a redundancy payout, and I have no debt. So I really only have regular household bills to worry about. But I make money from YouTube. Money from YouTube isn't great. Let's say I make money from content, and I make money from affiliates marketing, and with that I'm able to sustain what it is I have to pay for. Granted, it's not great, but the whole point of the next 6 months is to, whatever I make now is to times that by 10. That is what the aim is. And it's like, towards the end of last year, I really made the decision where I was like, I was putting myself in a place mentally where I was comfortable with the idea of giving up my secure income, because I knew I wanted a fresh start. I wanted a fresh start with my finances. I've had a financial goal for such a long time that I haven't been able to hit, because I just haven't had the time to put the work in to hit that goal. So I had to get comfortable with the idea of making less money for a short period of time, because I know it's more of a long-term thing, and I know it's a waiting game. And I think the problem with society today is everyone wants instant gratification. I thank God I'm that person who doesn't need, like, I don't need instant gratification. I know what it is I want, and what it is I want to achieve is going to take time. And I was just comfortable with the idea of stripping back what I was used to so that I could welcome something better. Like, it's really important to get rid of the old so that you can make room for the new, and I felt like that's what I needed to do. At the end of the day, with my job, I wasn't making millions, so there was no point of me holding on to something that wasn't even paying me great anyway. Like, yeah, it allowed me to pay my rent and do certain things and, you know, go on holiday here and there, but that's nowhere near what my life goals are. It doesn't reflect my goals, my vision board, or anything in any way. I even said to myself, like, I have goals, right? And it's not what I said to myself, actually. So I have goals, and I remember having a conversation with God, and I just knew what was going to happen. I knew what was going to happen this year. I knew I wasn't going to be working, because in that conversation that I had with God, where I was basically telling him what my goals and my plans are, you know when someone just gives you side eye, like, the plans that you've got and the resources that you have, they're not aligned. This is not what is going to take for you to get that goal. The resources that you have are here, the goal is here. It's impossible, babe. Like, the type of house I want to buy, the type of car I want to drive, the income I wanted to make, everything, it just wasn't aligned. And I knew God was going to take away my job, because he said, if you want this goal, you can't have this job, basically. So I was actually ready to start over. Like I said in my last vlog, I'm the type of person where it's like, let's say I'm running low on funds, I will very comfortably get up and deliver food for Deliveroo and Uber Eats, or deliver parcels for Amazon and Every. Like, I will easily do that. I won't even think twice. I've actually delivered parcels for Every in the past. Like, there've been times where I've struggled a little bit, and I just said to myself, you know what, let me get in my car and deliver some parcels for Every. And I think when you're making the decision to start over, you need to get comfortable with the idea of certain things. Like, you need to be prepared and willing to put yourself in an uncomfortable position, because starting over is not a pretty sight. When people make the decision to start over, they quit their jobs, they move back in with their parents. If I could move back home, I would do that. They give up their car. Like, you have to pretty much give up a lot, because you know, in giving up all of this, I'm going to gain so much more. There would be, like, if I could, I would give up my car. If I could, I would move back home. But those are just certain things that I can't do. But the one thing I knew I could do was I could give up work. Like, I don't need this. At the end of the day, it's just a job. And if a month, 2 months, 3 months in, I realize, okay, this isn't working for me, I could just go ahead and apply for another job. So starting over for me just looked like being comfortable with the idea of pretty much having nothing. Like, I'm back at the bottom, and I'm so comfortable with that idea. But it's something that you can only do once you've really thought about it for months. You have to think about it for a long time, because I went from living very comfortably, very blessed, like, I have my home, I have my car, was able to travel, was able to buy myself things, was able to do whatever it is I wanted. Well, not whatever it is I wanted, but I was able to, you know, I was comfortable. For someone who is a solo parent and provides for her child on her own, I was definitely very comfortable. But I said to myself, like, I'm tired of just being comfortable. I want more. I need more. Imani was doing this thing last year where she was just talking about, oh, like, she wants to have a birthday party. But she's like, we need a bigger house though, because she wanted to invite all of her friends over. And even that is just like, we need more room. Like, there's just so much more that I wanted from life and want from life. And it's like, in order to have the more, I needed to be prepared and willing to give up the little that I do have. And I feel like that's what I've done for myself, and I'm just starting over. Like, I really want to pursue content full time. I really want to be able to speak to you guys without any restrictions. I want to go through life every day without any anxiety, because the way I was creating content before, I'm not gonna lie, I can hold my hands up, is the days where I had work, I'd be trying to find ways to create content. So on my lunch break, I'll try and film a quick TikTok or a reel, but it just puts so much pressure on myself because I had very little time to do these things, or I would have to do it in the evening after work, and I was so tired and I just quite simply couldn't do whatever it is I wanted to do. So I was just so prepared to just start over and give it all up, and I'm so glad I did that for myself. And I swear to you, it's only now that I just feel like I'm experiencing life. Now I'm going out there for myself, and I'm so blessed for the ability not to compare where I am with everyone else. And I'm just excited for the future. I can't wait to see like what's gonna happen. I know that this beginning isn't my end. Like, I know it's just the start, and we can barely see everything that's down. Like, I feel like we can just see the tip of the iceberg right now. We can barely see all that God has planned, and I'm just excited. And I feel like it's okay to start over at any point in your life. Like, I'm so glad that I chose now as the time to start over. I'm so excited. I probably don't look it or sound it right now, but I am so excited. I know it's gonna be amazing. Like, I know the plans God has for me are plans to just impress me. Like, I know that I can't even imagine half of what he's got planned. I'm just so excited, and I urge more people to just start over. Just get up and go out there and pursue whatever it is your heart desires. If that means going back to university, if that means switching careers, if that means moving back home so that you can save for your house, or whatever it is, like, I urge you to start over. It's scary at first, but after a lot of thought, once you assess your actual situation, you realize it's something that is possible and something that you're capable of doing, and something that's actually going to better you. So I'm starting over. I'm not 30 yet. I do turn 29 this year, and I'm just excited. Like, it's the beginning of the rest of my life. That's how I feel. Fresh start. There are no restrictions on my life. It just feels amazing. I feel so lucky to embark on this journey for the next 6 months. I say the next 6 months because I'm giving myself until my 29th birthday to make a decision on whether or not I want to continue being self-employed, or whether or not it might be best if I look at a career or something. Yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited to see what the next 6 months has in store for me. I think it's going to be amazing. I'm not really scared. I'm just excited. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys know, consistency. You guys are going to see me every single week. I'm going to try and do twice a week. I'm just trying to figure out what the second day will be, but you'll definitely see me every single Sunday and possibly every single Tuesday as well. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it's encouraged you to start over if that's something you have considered. If it is something you've considered, please let me know what your plan is, how you're going to do this, in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.